was a top sniper, retired for 4 years. Unexpectedly, a secret unit quietly recalled him for a new mission. The military assigned him to guard a giant canyon, always covered in fog. No one knows how many secrets hide deep within that canyon. Before he left, his superior asked him 3 questions. Is your physical condition fit for battle? Are you single? If you die, will anyone grieve for you? After the questions, Levi was immediately sedated and put on a plane. When he woke up and removed the IV, someone had already been waiting. The person quickly confirmed Levi's identity, then confiscated his watch and all eyed, including his passport. Levi immediately parachuted into a restricted zone, unmarked on any map. It was a no-fly zone. Levi still had to walk 38 kilometers north to reach his assigned location. For a man whose hands were stained with hundreds of lives, this journey felt strangely light. At exactly 4:10 am, Levi met a special agent code named Blue Arrow. This special forces soldier, Gorge, was overjoyed to meet Levi. For the past year, he hadn't seen anyone else in this wilderness. Finally, his tour of duty was over. He could finally leave this damn place. After a few pleasantries, Gorge introduced Levi to their post, the West Tower observation point. The entire system is self-sufficient, running on solar power. It also has a backup generator, plus a rainwater collection and filtration system. Across the canyon, there's also an east tower. Gorge warned Levi never to make contact with that side. They do their job, you do yours. No one interferes. Levi's daily task was to patrol the canyon rim, checking and maintaining auto turrets installed every 600 meters. Along the mountain edge, every kilometer, a large dish satellite was erected. These stations block all signals and are the only way to contact the outside world. The mission seems simple, but Levi sensed something unusual. If it's just to prevent discovery, then what is their real mission? Is it to stop anyone from entering the canyon? No, it's to prevent something in the canyon from escaping. Levi didn't understand what Gorge meant by escaping, but the next second, Gorge suddenly threw a time bomb into the abyss. Seconds later, an explosion echoed from the abyss bottom, followed by terrifying roars that sent shivers down his spine. Gorge called the creatures at the bottom Hollow People. No one knows why they're called that. Guards have called them that for generations. In 1940, superiors deployed 400 cavalry to enter the canyon and destroy them. Not a single one returned. Levi dismissed it as just a rumor, paying no mind, but Gorge warned him seriously. This canyon is the gate to hell, and they are the gatekeepers. After the handover, Gorge could finally leave. He reached the rendezvous point and activated a smoke flare. From a distance, a helicopter slowly flew towards him. As the helicopter lowered a rope, Gorge sighed in relief. He was finally escaping this haunting, mysterious forest. But as the soldier in the helicopter confirmed his identity, a cold bullet ended his life without hesitation. His body remained forever in this desolate, mysterious land. Meanwhile, Levi remained completely unaware of what had happened. Every day, he repeated his work like a machine. He patrolled the canyon rim, checking the electric fence and noting every damaged mine, ensuring the auto turrets were always ready to fire. And every month, he had to report on the entire situation. Levi slowly grew numb to his surroundings, until one day, he heard a strange sound from the opposite side. He looked through binoculars and found something strange. Across the canyon, a beautiful girl was standing there. Though kilometers apart, her alluring figure still made him glance a few more times. It made one hold their breath. But Levi instinctively lowered his head. Gorge had warned him never to communicate or approach anyone on the opposite side. Then, on that stormy, thundery night, Levi's PTSD resurfaced. This is a condition any soldier can suffer after leaving the battlefield. Yet, he quickly grabbed his rifle and checked his surroundings for safety. Levi slowly regained consciousness. He then realized he had accidentally broken his cup when he jumped up. His foot was cut by the fragments, causing fresh blood to seep out. After treating his wound, he habitually picked up his binoculars to look across. He saw the girl wasn't asleep either. She was playing with candles in the guardhouse to kill time. Still, Levi followed orders. Absolutely no interference. When the rain stopped and night fell, the girl couldn't bear the loneliness anymore. She took out her binoculars to observe Levi. Seeing him reading a book, she fired a shot to get his attention. Through his binoculars, Levi saw her asking his name. Levi thought for a long time, then decided to respond. But what she didn't expect, Levi wrote 3 words: no contact. She was completely stunned. What a stubborn man, but she wouldn't give up. She kept writing on the cardboard, "My name is Lisa. Today is my birthday. Do whatever you want." This time, Levi chuckled helplessly. So far away, I couldn't do anything even if I wanted to, but that slowly made him lower his guard. He took out the glass of wine and wrote, "My name is Levi. Shall we toast your birthday?" And so, they began to openly converse in a unique and romantic way. Lisa asked Levi, "What are you best at?" Levi answered, "Shooting." "Shooting?" Lisa then asked. "How accurate are you?" She thought this topic would advance their relationship, but Lisa underestimated his dry humor. Levi just shrugged, ending the conversation, leaving Lisa speechless. Just as Levi turned to go inside, Lisa shattered his wine glass with a single shot. This immediately sparked Levi's competitive instinct. He grabbed his rifle, took a steady stance, and aimed straight across. After steadying his breath, Levi pulled the trigger decisively. He looked very pleased with that shot. He used his binoculars to observe Lisa's reaction. Unexpectedly, she did the unbelievable. She placed the wine bottle on her head, signaling Levi to shoot again. But just then, Lisa noticed something unusual. She gestured for Levi to look down. Levi also sensed something was wrong. He looked through his panoramic scope. At the searchlight's blind spot, strange creatures were secretly crawling up. The terrifying thing, these monsters had human faces. Without hesitation, Levi immediately pulled the trigger. The bullet hit the monster just as it touched a dangling mine. The shockwave blasted the entire group off the cliff. Levi now felt certain these were the hollow people Gorge warned him about. Since they were directly below him, he couldn't use heavy weapons with wide firing angles. He could only use his rifle to take precise shots. Meanwhile, Lisa on the other side could provide heavy fire support with overwhelming heavy weapon fire. Lisa took down long lines of hollow people crawling on the cliff. A seemingly fragile girl, yet holding a gun, she exuded a captivating wild charm. Soon, all visible targets were eliminated. Just as Lisa sighed in relief, another hollow person secretly crawled up. She was so busy supporting the other side, she forgot about her own location. Seeing the hollow person's disgusting face, Lisa drew her pistol and shot it directly. Levi, on his side, also heard the gunshot. He immediately used his scope to observe Lisa's situation. He aimed at the hollow person threatening her most and pulled the trigger decisively. Unexpectedly, the bullet activated another dangling mine. Shrapnel from the explosion flew straight at Lisa as she peeked out to observe the situation. Seeing this, Levi immediately activated his side's heavy firepower system. Brilliant bullets, like stars, streaked across the sky towards the other side. Despite her injury, Lisa didn't stop to rest, but immediately continued fighting. At the same time, another hollow person happened to hit an infrared sensor. The automatic machine gun systems, spaced every 600 meters, were fully activated, and so a rain of bullets began to pour down, forming a net of fire in the canyon. Levi and Lisa coordinated with incredible synergy, thanks to their many years of Special Forces experience, and even in their first battle, they understood each other to an astonishing degree. The whistling of bullets mixed with the roars of the monsters, plunging the entire canyon into chaos and bloodshed. No matter how numerous the monsters were, it was difficult for them to overcome this dense firepower and climb the cliff. Soon, the entire valley became quiet again. Lisa could finally breathe a sigh of relief. Dawn was breaking, and gray clouds turned pale white on the horizon. Lisa struggled to treat her own wounds, while Levi, on the other side, silently provided cover with his sniper rifle. After finishing with her wounds, Lisa wrote on the board, "This was the most memorable birthday of her life." After the battle, once everything had settled, repair work was indispensable. Levi used ropes to climb up and replace the mines hanging on the cliff. This weapon proved to be the #1 hero in last night's battle, so he naturally had to replace them with new ones carefully. Lisa, on the other side, also coordinated well, actively helping Levi observe the surrounding perimeter. But just then, a strange device slowly flew up from the valley floor, making Levi jump in alarm. Lisa immediately aimed her rifle and locked onto the target, ready to fire without hesitation if anything seemed unusual. At that moment, the automatic machine gun system also triggered an alert, but soon after, the danger signal was cleared once more. It seemed the device had just received some kind of signal and immediately retreated. It turned out to be a false alarm, and winter quickly arrived. Although they were kilometers apart, the two of them, after what just happened, gradually grew closer than ever. They each personally built a snowman on their respective balconies as a way to welcome the approaching Christmas festivities. Of course, that unique form of communication continued to be maintained. They even improved their method of communication by playing chess remotely. It's true, the human brain is really quite amazing. But then, One day in late February, Levi found Lisa crying uncontrollably on the balcony. He immediately asked what had happened to her, but Lisa didn't explain the reason, only quietly said she was very sad today. She wished Levi could be by her side right now. The image of a sorrowful Lisa haunted his mind, making Levi toss and turn all night, unable to sleep. Finally, he decided to do something he had been contemplating for a very long time. He took a cannon shell from the armory, then meticulously removed the firing pin, then carefully removed all the explosives inside and reassembled it as before, but at the same time, he covertly added a few special parts. The next morning, he carried a coil of rope outside. Lisa, on the other side, also noticed the unusual activity from Levi's end. Through her binoculars, she immediately figured out his intention. After a deep breath, Levi pulled the trigger. The cannon shell, carrying the rope, soared through the air to the other side. Lisa had never felt this excited before. She immediately ran to where the shell landed and carefully secured the rope to a sturdy tree. This was her bridge of love, so she absolutely could not make a mistake. After doing all this, she hurried back to the balcony to observe with her binoculars. She saw Levi writing on a sign, "Would you like to have dinner with me tonight?" Given such heartfelt affection, how could Lisa possibly refuse? So, Levi carefully shaved off his thick, bushy beard. He also picked some fresh and beautiful flowers nearby. Then he attached a fixed pulley to the rope. After a deep breath to gather momentum, he threw all his strength towards the love of his life. Thanks to the initial push, he quickly slid to the middle of the canyon, but Lisa's side was a bit higher, so he had to rope climb the rest of the way himself. But that couldn't make it difficult for Levi. In just a moment, he had safely climbed to the other side. Lisa had been waiting for him there for a long time, unable to hide her excitement. "Madam, may I have the honor of dining with you tonight?" At last, they could talk directly, face to face with each other, and they began to talk non-stop, as if pouring out their entire past from a bamboo tube full of beans. The conversation revolved around family, friendship, and even love. Of course, for a pair of snipers like them, the number of targets they had taken down and their 2 longest shots were the topics that most excited them. After they had shared every detail, Levi finally posed his first question. "Do you know what I often think about every night when I sit in the watchtower across from you? Thinking about how to kiss me, right?" That night, they danced together under the cozy roof. What could be more wonderful than a night just for the two of them? A moment of love worth 1,000 gold. Flowers were fragrant, the moon was dim, their spirits were enraptured. But the most beautiful days are often the shortest. They agreed to meet again next month. Levi looked back longingly, then slid down the rope back to his watchtower. Since it was a slope, the sliding speed was very fast. But just then, hollow people from the opposite side suddenly attacked. They activated the mines hanging on the cliff face again. Shrapnel from the explosion cleanly severed Levi's rope. When Lisa saw Levi, she didn't have time to think much. She rushed straight into her armory, grabbing a full load of ammunition and weapons, strapping on a parachute backpack. Then, without hesitation, she jumped straight down into the bottomless abyss. As her falling speed increased, Lisa immediately pulled her parachute cord to deploy it. In the midst of the thick orange-yellow fog, achieving a safe landing now became a genuine challenge, demanding extremely quick reflexes and experience. But for a special forces soldier like Lisa, it was no big deal. However, just as she landed on the water, her parachute canopy accidentally got stuck on a rock. The strong water current pinned her body down, making it impossible to move as she intended. But Lisa had previously been trained in these kinds of special conditions. She reached behind her back, successfully unbuckled her parachute, then let the current carry her body away like a small leaf. The automatic climbing hook in her backpack was also swept away by the current. Very soon after, when she drifted into a calmer section of water, she managed to grab onto a floating tree branch to hold on. Meanwhile, on the other side, Levi hadn't fallen to his death but was hanging upside down, suspended in mid-air. He was found dangling high up on a strange ancient tree. On that tree trunk, weird creatures were occasionally crawling past him. One of them was slowly making its way towards Levi, clearly considering him a delicious dinner. At that very moment, Levi seemed to start sensing the danger. He slowly regained consciousness after his stupor. As soon as he opened his eyes, he saw a sight that gave anyone goosebumps. But instead of panicking, Levi maintained a remarkable level of calmness and instinctively performed the most necessary action. Only he could have maintained such composure. Anyone else would have surely soiled their pants by now. However, before he could catch his breath, he realized that where he had fallen was truly very strange. The deep red branches beneath his body, like sticky resin in a rat trap, held him tightly, not allowing him to budge an inch. Levi began to realize that his situation was not good at all. He exerted all his strength to struggle free, But then sharp, white bone, like thorns, grew around his body, trying to envelop him completely. At that critical, hair-raising moment, Lisa heard a sound and rushed over. She acted cleanly and decisively, and managed to rescue Levi immediately. Levi was extremely grateful to Lisa for not fearing danger and jumping into the abyss to save him. But Lisa, with a gentle voice, said one thing: "If our positions were switched, wouldn't you have done the same?" After calming their spirits, they decided to go together to the east of the canyon to find the rope that had broken earlier, hoping to possibly trace any clues from that point. Afterwards, they planned to use the automatic climbing hook to climb back up, but just as they had walked a few steps, the abnormal movement of the fog immediately put them on alert. In the misty fog, there seemed to be something incredibly massive moving at a very high speed. A monster suddenly burst out, pretty much breaking their combat formation. It clearly knew it was weaker, so it wanted to separate them, to eliminate them one by one. This group of hollow people seemed to possess extremely high intelligence, but they vastly underestimated Levi and Lisa's ability to fight independently. Initially, not fully understanding the hollow people's fighting style, both were somewhat passive and found themselves at a disadvantage. Lisa was intensely pursued by one of their cavalry and was then harshly knocked down from behind. As for Levi, his situation was not much better, but as the battle wore on, they began to grasp the monster's attack patterns. After exhausting some energy, they quickly turned the tables, defeating all opponents. They then regrouped at the battlefield. As Levi cleared the scene, he made a horrifying discovery. The hollow cavalry wore 1940s uniforms. These monsters are likely the two 400 missing cavalry Goder mentioned. They should be long dead, but why were the uniforms here? At that moment, Lisa also faced trouble. Checking her backpack, she found the automatic climbing hook missing. Misfortune strikes twice. Without it, they couldn't climb the sheer cliff to get back, but both were strong, willed, never giving up on survival easily. They decided to follow the stream downstream, hoping to find an exit. Slowly, they entered the canyon's deepest area. The orange-yellow mist around them quickly turned a strange pale pink. The air seemed to contain strange chemicals, and nearby trees were deformed. The deformed trees looked like a mix of dry branches and human skulls. A chilling atmosphere permeated the air, giving them goosebumps. Soon, they found a long, abandoned ruin. The terrain looked as if a violent earthquake had struck, leaving cracks and destruction. Chilling sounds occasionally echoed, sending shivers down their spines. To avoid danger, they quickly ran into a church. Inside, it was covered in thick dust and cobwebs. On the pews were many long, dead, desiccated human corpses. After careful observation, Levi reached a shocking conclusion. These were all people who voluntarily poisoned themselves to commit suicide. It made them wonder what could be more terrifying than death, that made these people prefer death over life. Immediately, the answer appeared before them. This was the nest of a skull spider with a human-like face. Each one didn't cause much harm, but their numbers were terrifying. They moved very fast and loved to leap at people's faces, clearly to terrify and sicken them. Lisa hid under a pew, screaming and wildly firing her gun. Luckily, Levi pulled her up just before she was surrounded. The two once again coordinated perfectly. As they calmly killed the spiders one by one, 3 hollow people suddenly burst through the door. The scene instantly fell into chaos. The skull spiders couldn't tell friend from foe. They furiously attacked anything that moved, but the hollow people targeted only Lisa and Levi, vowing not to quit until they killed them. Lisa used a small gap to immediately open an escape route with a grenade. With a grenade, they quickly rushed out through the blast opening, but outside was too open, making them easy targets. At that moment, they saw a steel gate leaning against the canyon wall. They pushed it hard, and it surprisingly opened. This was perhaps the only good news of the day. Even more surprising was the incredibly vast and complex space inside the gate. They opened another door, unexpectedly finding a laboratory. Though severely dilapidated, it was clearly once well managed. Levi found a videotape on the table, unsure of its contents. Lisa found a propane generator in the room's corner. She flipped the switch, and it surprisingly still worked. Simple, old-fashioned devices sometimes prove more durable and last longer. Levi didn't wait. He immediately put the tape into the player. The tape's content held the answer to the canyon's mystery. This place was once a post, Destructive Bioweapon Research Base, but a sudden earthquake severely damaged the entire research facility. Biological weapons also leaked. This caused many canyon creatures to undergo genetic mutations, mixing with human DNA. Yeah, though those with strong immune systems wouldn't be infected. Once infected, changes would begin within 5 days. To ensure this toxin didn't escape the canyon, Everyone residing there chose to end their own lives. After watching the tape, Levy believed that after only a few hours, their infection risk was almost zero. Both were Special Forces soldiers, so their immune systems weren't like normal people's. Levy then surprisingly found a modern computer in the room. It clearly wasn't from the World War II era, and the data inside completely altered their perceptions. It turned out that after the bio leak, research didn't stop, but was taken over by a giant genetic corporation named Black Lake. They used all previous research to develop their own super soldiers. This seemed to be the true secret hidden in the canyon. From here, they both gradually realized a frightening truth. They were no longer serving the military, but had unwittingly become mercenaries for Black Lake. Levy opened another folder, Wild Dog. Wild Dog. It stated that if the canyon's secret was revealed, the system would automatically activate a missile destruction plan. The safe radius from the contamination zone was 4.2 kilometers. After reading this, Levy and Lisa knew they had to escape quickly. They followed the missile shaft to climb back up. On the way, they passed a strange area of half-human, half-plant creatures, unlike normal organisms. Clearly, it was a consequence of the bio leak. They both carefully moved through this dangerous area, but the path was too narrow, and Lisa accidentally stepped on something. Immediately, creatures on both sides woke up. Seeing this, Levi turned back to help, but these creatures were not only terrifyingly resilient, but also very sticky. They clung on relentlessly, frustrating Lisa. Jiza, she first intended to spare them, but eventually, in anger, she threw a grenade. The explosion's heat quickly incinerated the creatures to ash. Entering another room, they found a few jeeps inside. Though old models, they had strong winches, just like automatic climbing hooks. After simple modifications, they attached spare batteries to the car. They then sped to the cliff edge where the rope had broken. Soon, they saw the old rope snagged on a tree branch. Levi silently tied the rope to the front of the jeep. Meanwhile, Lisa stood guard below, gun in hand. The jeep made a lot of noise along the way. The jeep's loud noise naturally attracted all 7 hollow people. Meanwhile, Lisa's ammunition, carried when she jumped into the abyss, quickly ran out after a few bursts. So Levi immediately took the gun, covering the rope tying process. As he pressed the gas, the jeep slowly began to climb the sheer cliff. Soon they left the toxic orange mist area. But then, more hollow people began climbing the cliff and their rope. In a flash, a monster with 40-meter claws gripped Levy's hand. Lisa saw this and grew furious. She delivered a beautiful spinning kick, sending the monster into the abyss. But many more hollow people were furiously pursuing. Having found their targets, they wouldn't easily give up. With no guns or ammo, Levy and Lisa had to use every remaining tool on the jeep to fight back. They were specially trained, so dealing with these somewhat intelligent monsters wasn't too hard. But the hollow people's numbers grew, and 2 people could hardly fight off a whole horde. Levy gradually weakened and was at a disadvantage. One slip almost sent him into the abyss. That situation gave him a reckless idea. If now mo, he punctured the jeep's fuel tank with a tool and quickly pulled the detonator pin. The fuel tank explosion caused Levy minor thigh injuries, but fortunately, they weren't life-threatening. Once they found a firm foothold, Lisa unhesitatingly cut the rope. Finally, they made it back to safe ground. After all they'd been through, Lisa and Levy's bond grew stronger, inseparable. They made the decision to completely destroy this strange canyon. True to their word, both immediately made their own plans. Levy made his way back to the western observation post. They planned to blow up the satellite signal jammer. At that point, the entire canyon area would be revealed, and the self-destruct system would also be automatically activated. Just as they had completed all their preparations, a helicopter flew directly to the canyon area. Clearly, their fall into the abyss had been detected by their superiors. Levy immediately shouted a command for Lisa to quickly retreat. The two split into 2 directions. One ran east, the other dashed west. When their superiors reached the guard post where Levi was stationed, they found it empty. He had vanished. They immediately realized that Levi was now on the run. Soon after, they deployed 4 quadcopter UAVs to hunt him down. However, this pair had already anticipated that specific situation. They deliberately ran into the dense forest, where every tree could potentially slow down the UAV's flight. The battle unfolded fiercely within every single bush and leaf. After a challenging and arduous battle, Levy successfully destroyed the UAV pursuing him. Lisa was also very lucky when 2 UAVs crashed into each other and self-destructed. Once everything finally calmed down, Levi was able to choose his ideal sniper position. Lisa did the same thing on the opposite side. According to the plan, Lisa would blow up the satellite jammer in the west. Levi, meanwhile, was responsible for destroying the eastern station. When the exact designated time arrived, both simultaneously pulled their triggers. The initial explosion from the jamming device immediately activated the sequence of detonating cords they had prepared beforehand. This created a chain reaction, causing all the satellite jamming stations to explode simultaneously. The group of superiors witnessed that scene and were left speechless. The entire canyon area had now been completely exposed, and the stray dog plan was officially activated. The superiors had exactly 3 minutes left to evacuate the danger zone. Then, a truly earth-shattering explosion erupted violently. By that time, Lisa had managed to retreat to a safe area, but Levi, with his leg injured, still had some distance to cover. He was thrown by the shockwave and fell straight into the river. 5 days later, after ensuring she wasn't contaminated, Lisa finally emerged from her hiding cave. She began her journey to the rendezvous point where they had both sworn to meet again. But at that meeting place, Lisa waited for a full month, yet Levi never returned. Despite that, she refused to leave. She stayed there, found a temporary job, and lived a stable daily life. One day, as she was going about her ordinary life, she suddenly felt a familiar gaze from behind. Turning her head back, she finally saw Levi, the man whom she had always yearned for. From then on, the two began to live a happy, sweet life, unconcerned with worldly affairs. And with that, the film officially comes to an end here.